Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a thumbs up. They are appreciated and it does help with the algorithm. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. It says it's always nice to start things off with good news, and today the price of Bitcoin has incurred another heavy surge that's causing many traders and analysts alike to regain hope that 2020 will end on a high note. As of late, the world's #1 cryptocurrency by market cap has been suffering. Not really. The asset lost more than $1,000 off of its price over the past week, dropping from around $19,000 per unit to around $17,900. Things weren't looking good, and many felt that Bitcoin was no longer likely to hit $20,000 that so many individuals or experts had set their sights on. This video is going to be full of a lot of I believe, I don't believe news. People really love to believe in Bitcoin when the price is skyrocketing, and the moment it drops by this much, not this much, but just by this much, they seem to lose all of their faith. For those of you who don't know, Bitcoin is volatile. Surprise! And it happens across the entire cryptocurrency market. So it's weird to me that people can see that Bitcoin went from $3,500 this year to $19,899 or wherever it went to, and then drops by 1,000 and they go, no, everything is wrong. All hope is gone. What world are you living on where you think that we can't simply go back up by that same number that we lost over the course of a 24-hour period back towards 20,000? Not really sure what's going through people's minds. By the time of writing, Bitcoin has added another $1,000 to its price. Surprise! And one unit is now trading for around $18,800. That's also old. Bitcoin is now like at $19,200 or something like that. This is a huge jump for a single 24-hour period. And hope is once again riding on Bitcoin, striking $20,000 before December is over. We have, what was that? 17 days left. I feel like, in 17 days, Bitcoin can, even if Bitcoin went up by $100 a day, and that's it, we'd hit it in about 6 or 7, 8 days, 8.5 days, 7 days. I'm going to say 7. 7 sounds like a good number. So, yes, once again, Bitcoin's price is rising, as it often does. We've been getting nonstop good news. Any drops that we do have or do incur or have seen as of late, I had assumption that it was simply just the institutions behind the scenes trying to push down the price more so that they can accumulate more. We also have a lot of news of I love it, I want it, I gotta have it, didn't buy it earlier kind of news. So I think this kind of all ties into people really figuring out that Bitcoin is it, that they should have purchased Bitcoin, and now they're doing so. And this one says charted Litecoin bullish breakout suggests a larger rally to $90. This was all across the board. Bitcoin rises by $8, and everyone's like, woo, for the altcoin. So everyone is expecting new prices, new highs. This one says Bitcoin flashes signs of strength as all-time highs are back on the table. What a difference a day makes. Isn't that insane? Everyone is all woe is me, woe is us, and then Bitcoin goes back up to where it was before. And now everyone's like, yeah, things are good. Once again, it says Ethereum is beginning to look perfect as sellers show signs of exhaustion. And this one says 5 key metrics signal Ethereum's price is ready to make new 2020 high. The number that I keep seeing around when it comes to Ethereum is $600. Not sure exactly why. I'm not a chart kind of guy. I don't really believe in technical analysis, and you can scream at me all you want and tell me how right and wrong it is. We've gone through this thousands of times on this channel, where other people tell me that a chart is looking a certain way, and then it does the exact opposite, and I don't see them respond or comment for about a good week and a half, 2 or 3 weeks, until something happens that they predicted about 8 weeks ago that didn't really happen but kind of took place, and then they go, see, I told you that the market was going to go down by 3%, and I'm like, wow, you did it. That's absolutely amazing. So the point is, $600 is apparently the number that we're looking for. We hit $600 before. Maybe $600 just simply has to act as the new baseline bottom price for Ethereum, and then skyrocketing and all that other stuff because we keep getting the same news over and over. that once Ethereum hits a certain number, it's going to go a lot higher. I don't think the number is that important, me. I think it relies more on the fact that we finally, remember this, we have Ethereum 2.0, at least phase 0 of it. So once we start hearing that a huge amount of Ether is actually locked up into these contracts, that'll push the price higher, because I think we probably logically need the actual metrics to see how much Ethereum or how scarce Ether actually is. This one says Bitcoin price makes the final approach to a new yearly high as investors anticipate another rally. Once again, it was bound to happen. It was going to happen. If it didn't happen, I would have another fit, because the news has to reflect reality at this point. It just simply has to, especially as we get further into other things. And yeah, that's all the price news for today, at least. Prices are going back up. People expect them to go higher, and we keep getting more of that new all-time high parabolic anticipation rally kind of news swirling around out there. Without further ado, let's move on. Next up, Plan Bitcoin is, of course, in the news again. Institutional quantitative investor and creator of the Bitcoin stock-to-flow ratio model, Plan B, says Bitcoin's unique scarcity is setting up the leading cryptocurrency to surge in 2021. In a new interview with Salt Talks, Plan B advertises a bullish 2021 ride for Bitcoin. The experienced Dutch analyst hypothesizes that Bitcoin's value can skyrocket to $300,000 before the end of next year, which is really weird because that's the same exact number from Citibank. He said if you look at the trajectory of what we had the last 10 years where it could go to the levels of gold and real estate, then I expect Bitcoin to do another 10x or 20x. So it will go to well north of 100,000, maybe north of $300,000 before Christmas of next year. And that sounds really bullish. That sounds maybe ridiculous to some people, but we've done that 3 times before. It's a very asymmetric return, years of nothing, some big crashes, and then an enormous bull year that I think will happen next year. He's not the only one. A lot of people keep saying that 2021 is going to be the mega bull year, that what we've experienced so far this year has been a bull run, but it's not the bull run that everyone has been waiting for, because we've basically gone back to the same exact prices that we went to in 2017, which then happened in 2016. So then you have the trajectory upward for the year after the actual mining reward has halved. If you look at the chart, and a lot of other people's charts is really kind of weird. Just going to touch on this and then we can kind of move on. If you look at the chart, it says every single chart for, this is why I think this year we've gotten so much institutional and banking support for Bitcoin, because the year before, the halving, then the year after the halving is always the kind of crazy year. When you look at their charts right now, it shows 2021 as the, insane year. And then from the end of 2021 to 2024, it's basically lull. It's going sideways once again. And then 2025 is that same exact year, which is interesting because 2024 is the next halving and 2025 is the year after the halving, which is the year that we're currently going into right now. I'm going to stop talking. The point is, this was one of thousands of articles. I just decided to choose this one because they're all basically the same. Not about Plan B, but other people talking about how bullish the market is going to be and where the market is going to go and how amazing things are going to be next year. So, what was I going to say? It was something along the lines of I can't tell you not to lose faith, but this is just how the cryptocurrency market is. Until Bitcoin hits $1 million, we are going to have fluctuations. Just be prepared for that. But I'm always so shocked that even people who've been in crypto for years see the prices dropping by a little bit. Like I told you, my friend last week, the prices dropped a bit and he was like, yeah, I think I'm going to buy gold and stocks. And I was like, what am I missing? Like, what's the haps? Anyway, that's the Plan B news, and let's move on. Next up, in banks really love Bitcoin. JP Morgan Chase, one of the world's largest banks on the planet, said in a research note that the recent Bitcoin adoption by mutual life insurance company Mass Mutual indicates the potential for additional institutional, of course, if it stops there, I would be shocked. Of course, there's going to be The entire JP Morgan thing, and I'll explain why in a couple of seconds, is a little weird. More institutional demand. The bank predicted demand of around $600 billion for Bitcoin in the future. Yeah, see, it's already a little weird. According to the official note, JP Morgan outlined that if family offices, insurance companies, and pension funds decide to allocate a small percentage of cryptocurrencies, it would result in massive demand. The research note, drafted by strategists including Nicolaus Panzigritzoglu, I think I said that right, mentioned that insurers and pension funds are facing regulatory hurdles to enter the crypto market. Mass Mutual's Bitcoin purchase represents another milestone in Bitcoin adoption by institutional investors. One can see the potential demand that could arise over the coming years. Potential demand? Are you serious? Why would JP Morgan be writing a note to its institutional investors about the potential of Bitcoin? And they go, maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody's going to enter the market. Of course, people are going to be entering this market as other insurance companies and pension funds follow Mass Mutual's example. The really weird part, and the weirdest part, they expect financial expert services from the U.S. to enter Bitcoin. And they expect Bitcoin's demand or market cap to rise to $0.6 trillion. That's less than double the price right now. This I was like, it's kind of weird. Like, we usually get price predictions or price movements or price numbers as to where Bitcoin could go. We get 1.5 trillion, 10 trillion. I'm pretty certain that Bitcoin is probably going to hit $35,000, which would give us a $600 billion target. But then maybe JP Morgan is setting the bar so low so that they could be like, see, we did it. Yay, we hit the actual number, because we're going to go well beyond that. I don't know. It's kind of like in 2017 where a lot of people were predicting that Bitcoin was going to reach $4,000 and it hit $5,000 and they were like, I did it. I'm a master of the arts. I know how to do all this stuff. I don't know. So the news being JP Morgan Chase says that Bitcoin's going to go higher because people are buying it. I mean, I'm shocked. I just simply did not expect any of that news to really come our way. I'm also fairly certain assumption JP Morgan has their hand deep in the cookie jar. They know exactly where this is going. Why would JP Morgan waste their time talking about Bitcoin doubling in price? Unless they had some. Let's move on. Next up, and banks still really love Bitcoin because we get this news every single day. Morgan Stanley's global strategist has made a case that Bitcoin is making progress towards replacing the US dollar. I repeat, Morgan Stanley's global strategist has said that Bitcoin could potentially replace the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. He said, do not assume that your traditional currencies are the only store of value or mediums of exchange that people will ever trust. Morgan Stanley Investment Management Chief Global Strategist and Head of Emerging Markets, Ruchir Sharma, published an opinion piece in the Financial Times on Wednesday. He explained how Bitcoin is making progress towards replacing the US dollar and becoming the world's reserve currency. The Indian investor began by recalling when 19 happened. He said the US dollar was the world's reserve currency, noting that it has been one for 100 years, while other previous reserve currencies lasted about 94 years on average. Interesting, fiat currencies tend to usually have a lifespan of around 24 or 27 years on average, and a lot of them have completely collapsed. There's also links to the time frame because the US dollar became a fiat currency in 1971, which around the time in the early 2000s is when we were getting news and indication that other currencies are trying to make other banks or other reserve currencies not tied to the US dollar, simply pushing the US dollar to the side. Didn't work then because the US was able to kind of go to their offices and be like, hey, no. But they can't do that to Bitcoin because Bitcoin doesn't have an office. That would have been reason to question how much longer it could continue. But for one caveat, the lack of a successor. And then he basically goes on. I don't have to read the entire thing. Here's the most important part. He said, but a new class of contenders is emerging. Cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin are being pitched by their champions as decentralized, democratic alternatives. And then it goes on further and further and further. So we're on a good roll. Like 2 or 3 weeks now, every single day, We get rich person news. Rich person hated and then loved Bitcoin, which is what we're going to have in like a couple of seconds as well. And also, we hated it, but now we love it because we know exactly where it's going. Bitcoin banking news. And from two banks today. Look at us. We are on a winning streak. Anyway, so JP Morgan thinks that Bitcoin is going to double in price, and Morgan Stanley says that Bitcoin is looking like it's going to replace the US dollar. Okay, let's move on. What's this one? Institutional interest, there we go, in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies continues. A recent report shows that they've purchased almost $500 million worth of Bitcoin in less than a week. CoinShares data has reaffirmed the narrative that institutional investors continue to allocate considerable amounts, $500 million, into crypto assets. Last week was the second highest 7-day period, with nearly $430 million inserted into the crypto market, driving the assets under management to an all-time high of $15 billion US. On a more micro scale, the week that ended the 7th of December saw a fresh wave of $429 million. Thus, it became the second best week after an all-time high record less than a month ago of $468 million US. And it talks about Grayscale. Grayscale is just a monster at this point. They don't really... I wish I could sit in the room with them as they're having these discussions, because the amount of money that's allocated per week is just terrifying at this point. Anyway, so yeah, institutions are, almost said something I can't say. They are arms deep. You know the other word I wanted to say. Into the cryptocurrency space, because it's clear where all of this is going. I really love the numbers. Whoever's making these articles and stuff like that, please continue to do so. Numbers make me very happy because I like seeing for a fact. Like, it's one thing to hear like, look what they did, they're rich, and then actually have the numbers and be like, oh, $500 million, and like to see it on their reserves and stuff like that, because it lets us know exactly how much Bitcoin is dwindling on cryptocurrency exchanges. I think this is the actual article right here. Yeah, from Reuters. Crypto inflows hit second high. Wait, is this something else? Is this it? What's this? It was second week. Yeah. So it's the same. Crypto inflows hit second highest on record assets. Yeah, sorry. I thought that was something else, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. And I realized it was just exactly what we just read, so it makes tons of sense. This is awkward. Let's move on. Next up, in I'm rich, Bitcoin is terrible, now I love Bitcoin news. On Friday, former hedge fund manager Jim Cramer explained during an interview why earlier that day he had purchased more Bitcoin. Cramer is the host of CNBC's Mad Money with Jim Cramer. Makes sense. He's also a co-anchor of Squawk on the Street, what a weird name, as well as a co-founder of the website called The Street. A lot of streets in those names. On the 7th of June, 2017, when Bitcoin was trading around $2,800, after being told on Squawk on the Street that Business Insider CEO Henry Bloget had predicted that Bitcoin would one day hit $1 million, Cramer said, I think Bitcoin could reach $1 million because the European banks are frantically trying to buy them so they can pay off ransomware. Oh, I forgot about that. Wow. Yeah, that was years ago. It's a short-term way to be able to deal with cybersecurity. It is the way to pay off the bad guys. What a weird paragraph. However, on the 14th of August, 2018, at a time when Bitcoin had just fallen below 6,000, we found that Cramer had gone to a bearish tone. He said, I think the ride... Here we go. He said, I think the tide has turned against it. I'm not saying its time has passed, but there is a notion that the sun seems to be setting. Remember when I said at the beginning of the video that this video would be riddled with I love it, I hate it, I love it, I hate it, I love it again kind of things? I'm not sure what, if you are getting into the Bitcoin space, understand this is not going to be a 1-year thing. When Bitcoin does eventually skyrocket and then fall back down, don't lose faith, don't lose hope, because that's just how the market actually works. If you are, once again, planning on being here for a very long time, there's a reason why I say do your own research. It's not simply because, it's a lot of things. You should be always doing your own research by yourself, but just to understand why Bitcoin is going to surpass and take over the US dollar. I think tons of people lose that really fast. It's one thing to be like, oh, Bitcoin's going to hit 1 million. It's going to be the greatest thing on this planet. And the Bitcoin drops and you go, I think the sun is setting on it. You think that Bitcoin was done because you lost faith in it and because the price dropped? Absolutely ridiculous. Then on the 10th of September, Anthony Pompliano, who is the co-founder of Morgan Creek Digital, as well as the host of the Pomp podcast, told his almost 370,000 followers on Twitter that he had convinced Cramer to buy some Bitcoin, apparently during a recent podcast with both of them. He said, I just convinced Cramer to buy Bitcoin, reply to his tweet, make a GIF, yada, 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 yada. On Friday, Cramer told Catherine Ross on The Street why he bought more Bitcoin. He said, yeah, I just felt that back at 17,000 seemed like a decent level, and I will buy like I usually do. As something comes down, I'll get bigger and bigger and bigger. Wow. So the point is, he hated it, he loved it. He hated it, and now he loves it again. I assume, give it to like 2022. We're probably going to get some more famous people who bought Bitcoin in 2020 news that they think that the sun is setting or something doesn't feel right or something is amiss or I'm just going to stand back for a bit kind of news. Assumption. He probably did not buy any Bitcoin around 3,500. He saw it rise to 20,000 this year and was like, oh, I should have bought some. It fell back down to 17,000. That's probably why he bought at 17,000, because he was looking for a really good entry point. Assumption. So the news, the most popular news of the day is that, and I'm not sure if it's just they're rich buying Bitcoin, therefore pay attention, or they didn't care about Bitcoin before and now they do, and they're understanding how magical and amazing and wonderful Bitcoin is, and therefore that's why it makes the news. I'm not sure why people make these articles, why this is constantly in the news. Like, you can even see it right here. Host of CNBC's Mad Money explains why he invested in Bitcoin. Jim Cramer increases Bitcoin portfolio, announces to buy more. Jim Cramer bought Bitcoin while off nicely from the top in 17,000s. All the time. It's always the same news. It's always, we didn't believe in it. The price went up and now we re-believe in it. But imagine how much richer they would be if they had believed in it when it was at 3,500. This is why I mentioned before, pay attention to all the new, there's tons of them, cryptocurrency channels who are telling you about all these garbage coins. There are so many channels who disappeared or just simply weren't around during the rough times. Why do you think I remained? Because I knew that the prices were going to go back up. So whenever cryptocurrency channels start popping up and people are telling you to invest in coins that you've never heard of, it's because that they re-entered the space. They were looking for something that seemed like a sure bet, and they're trying to tell you to get into that coin even though they know that it's garbage. When the market goes parabolic, expect these channels to absolutely explode. People are going to love them because during a parabolic bull run, everything is a good choice. Everything, every single coin makes you money. When prices fall back down, these channels will disappear. Same exact thing like 2017, because they've been promoting securities, promoting coins that are complete garbage. You are going to lose your money heavily unless you are in the actual correct coins. There's a reason why the news continuously, it's not me searching for just Bitcoin news. The news is always just Bitcoin news. Why is it always just Bitcoin news? Of course, there may be some type of other altcoin news or whatever. This coin is going to do this or this coin is going to have an upgrade, but it's not adoption news. Cardano being upgraded, Stellar being upgraded, this coin being so-and-so is not institutions buying $500 million worth of that coin at one time news. This is why Bitcoin keeps making the news over and over, because all the attention is focused on Bitcoin. If you are here for the long term, just understand the market has a name and it is Bitcoin. That's not to say that other coins won't do well, but please pay attention. I was scrolling through YouTube, it was about a day or two ago. The amount of new channels with the really weird like thumb shots with like a big thumb and like a happy face, a smiley face, charts going all over the place, all these really weird thumbnails that people keep using to try and get you to click. And they're talking about Compound, they're talking about Aave, they're talking about all these coins that you have no business actually being inside of. Pay attention to where your money is. Listen, what makes you think at this point that Bitcoin is not going to succeed? And I mean this in all honesty. Please tell me. Because the amount of people in the comment section, I'm not sure if they're bots. Also, please watch out for the amount of robots and whatever else in the comment section pretending to be me. There's far too many. I can't stop them. It's actually impossible. There was like 8 of them the other day that were all mimicking me, and they had like slightly different placements of the actual TMI logo, and I'm like, come on, dude. I forgot where I was going with that entire rant. Just please pay attention to where your money is. Understand that Bitcoin is probably the most likely cryptocurrency to actually replace the US dollar. It could be Ethereum if we end up getting 1 million transactions per second. It could be XRP. But until we start getting this level, this volume of news about altcoins, it's clearly at this point going to be Bitcoin. So my mind is exhausted. It's just I don't get it. Please don't lose faith when prices start going back down. This happens all the time. I don't know if it's just people start watching things on TV and it's like, oh, Bitcoin's not doing well. And they go, yeah, Bitcoin's not doing well. I screamed at my friend, why were you buying stocks? Anyway, let's move on. Investment icon Rick Edelman, named the nation's top independent financial advisor by Barron's 3 times over, says he's a believer and investor in cryptocurrency. In a new interview with Real Vision, the founder of Edelman Financial Engines, which has more than $200 billion in assets under management, says he first began to tinker with crypto assets in 2014. Did you hear it? Did you get it? What was the year I just said? What is the year that we heard that the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange got into Bitcoin? It's 2014. What is the year that we keep hearing that all those banks who hated us before got into Bitcoin? Because they've slipped multiple times and have said it. A lot of them said that they got into it in 2017. And a lot of them said that we've been looking into crypto since 2014. How weird it is that over the course of all these years, they hated cryptocurrencies, and then for some reason, they were actually into it. Why 2014? That's what I still haven't figured out yet. I don't know what the significance of 2014 is. But isn't it very, very weird that they all got into Bitcoin at the exact same time? And even more so, this was before we had the rumblings of what could take place in 2017 and 2016. Kind of odd, right? We keep hearing 2014 over and over and over. I don't know if it goes over people's heads, but numbers stick in my head very prominently. 2014 is when he got into crypto. He said, I began with Bitcoin in 2014, and it was an academic exercise. I wanted to open up a Coinbase account, see how this works. I wanted to buy Bitcoin and see and just learn. I did that for a bit of time and began to, as my research continued, my conversations with so many in the crypto space evolved, began to realize that there really is a there. That's a typo. It's not just a beanie baby. Sure, why not? Since then, Edelman says he has grown his portfolio and invested in Ethereum. He also names the crypto asset XRP as a cryptocurrency that could play a role in a crypto revolution. He said, I increased our exposure with my wife, Jean, and expanded. Okay, that's really weird that he would name his wife and expanded into Ethereum. I'm also excited about that, frankly, as I am Bitcoin for totally different reasons. And that is something that we are not talking about Coke and Pepsi. He loves like items, Coke and Pepsi and Beanie Babies. We are talking about 2 fundamentally different aspects of this technological revolution. You can extend that to Ripple. The reason that a lot of these key coins exist is that they solve a problem that the others were facing. Bitcoin is not the end-all solution. And then he goes on to talk about how bad some of the other coins are. I'm also finding it fascinating, and I guess we'll see by the end of next year where this is going. A lot of people are name-dropping XRP. And it's a really weird kind of thing because we didn't have any XRP news for a while. And then we started getting like updates, and then Spark, this is going to happen, and this is going to be rolling out. And a lot of heavy-handed investors who invested heavily into Bitcoin, they're all coming forward talking about XRP is not so bad. And it's like, that's also quite interesting because a lot of people didn't like XRP in 2017. So like I said, we'll see by next year how this develops, because if everyone If XRP skyrockets in price and then we get an indication that behind the scenes institutions are also buying up XRP, because I have a feeling that they're also buying up Ether as well. Not in huge quantities, the same exact way that we can see on Grayscale's actual like charts, metric sheets, whatever you kind of want to call them. But we know that people are buying up Ethereum. Anyway, the news being somebody else, rich, is announcing that they're in the cryptocurrency space. Expect more all the time. This is not going to stop, especially as other people are dabbling, dipping their toe into the digital pool. When Bitcoin doubles in price, these people are going to really start announcing, hey, yeah, I managed to buy some at a really good time. I got some at 17,000. Bitcoin's currently at 42,000. And, I wish everyone else had gotten it at that price. And this starts the hysteria. Oh, I wish I had also gotten it at that price. And then everyone keeps on buying. What's this one? Yeah. According to data, Bitcoin balances on exchanges are shrinking at a great deal and have dropped to levels not seen in 2 years. Arcane Research detailed the chart showing the number of Bitcoins leaving exchanges has seen a sharp decline and has been one of the main stories of the year. Meanwhile, on-chain metrics indicate a number of older coins are being sold as Bitcoin's value increases. I don't know if you saw the other day when we were looking at the charts. I'm pretty sure I must have said this in the video. A lot of the coins, Bitcoin was going up and the altcoins were like slightly in red, and their Satoshi prices were also dropping as well. I think we're getting to that point once again where people are going to start slightly selling off their altcoins to push into Bitcoin. Just seems like a normal trend. The point being, a lot of Bitcoin on cryptocurrency exchanges is being taken off. They cite in this article that they believe that it actually has to do with people simply buying up or people trying to be their own custody solution, if you will. People are buying ledgers, people are buying so-and-so. I think that's probably only 1% of it. I think the reason why Bitcoin is leaving many exchanges is because it's being bought up by institutions. The less Bitcoin we have on exchanges, the higher the price goes. The thinner that Bitcoin is on the exchanges, the less that there is, the more people that start to buy, the quicker the price goes up because there's less on cryptocurrency exchanges, because that's how we get the prices, through the cryptocurrency exchanges. Tying also into the news that we got a couple of weeks ago, I don't remember exactly how long it was, with Max Kaiser talking about that people are probably, they're already doing this, just going directly to the cryptocurrency miners and being like, because when they sell these coins, they sometimes tend to hit the actual cryptocurrency exchanges. So imagine if we never get new coins on crypto exchanges and the amount of Bitcoin keeps dwindling further and further on these exchanges, then the prices have nowhere to go but up. It's just mathematical, supply and demand. If the supply is not there, but the demand remains as great even as it currently is right now, prices begin to skyrocket. So here's the actual number of Bitcoin on exchanges. I guess this is roughly around February right here, and it's continually dropping. A lot of people I know who are buying cryptocurrencies, I have advised them already, take it off of exchanges, especially after we got that news from the CEO of Coinbase that there may be like extra regulation and stuff on top of that if you try to move your money. That sounds a little unnecessary. So as long as you are legally able to do so where you live, do it. Try and find a way to just take, if you're scared of it, take a good 2 weeks to learn every single day for 20 minutes how to custody your own crypto. If you bought a Ledger Nano, a Nano ledger, Google around, YouTube around how it works so that when you receive it, you are a master at it. Figure out how to put stuff onto a computer, maybe a computer that you're not even using that maybe is like only a year or two old, how to custody your crypto onto it. Have a copy of all the extra private keys. I know it scares a lot of people, but this is the way that the world is moving to. Anyway, the point being, a lot of Bitcoin is leaving exchanges. I really think it just has to do with institutions. These people aren't buying up Bitcoin and putting it into a computer and simply holding it next to a desk and being like, now we wait. They're really securing these things in like these cold storage. I can only imagine the ways that they're actually storing it. Mountains being one of the craziest ways. Anyway, this is going to continue happening. I advise you once again, before we get to the real crunch down, because keep this in mind, most cryptocurrency exchanges right now have a situation where you usually can't move or withdraw more than like $5,000 per day of your own money. Let's say we do get to a parabolic cryptocurrency market price and we do like a proper 10x and you can't take off any of your money for like a good 28 days. That would not be a really good feeling. So anyway, that's the exchange news, if you will. And let's move on. Actually, hold on, wait. I'm going to be smart this time, and I'm going to actually find the names before I do anything, because if I don't, then I won't have the names when I open up the tab. Smart. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Crypto Stahl, George Montoya, Wise Link Not TMI, Conan Don't Skip Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolek Banan, Auspicious Agile, and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moher Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Damien, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangelavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day. Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arf Medic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigara Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to all the new Patreon members. Thank you to everyone who left a like. Thank you to everyone who is a clicker of affiliate links. Thank you to everyone who likes hearing me say thank you and has shared the prices. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently at 19,158 US dollars. It is down, but not really down, by 0.26%. We have passed by 19,000. Let's see what the rest of the week holds. I think something important is happening, I think today or tomorrow with the Fed. That's what I think I remember hearing somewhere on the interwebs. Ethereum is at 586. We are, what is that? $13.90 away from 600. I think we can make it, guys. I think we can pass by 600 quite easily. XRP is still slightly down. This is from the hype being over from the airdrop. I think it took place on the 12th. I don't remember the actual dates and stuff like that. It will go back up eventually. It's just right now the selling pressure is there. Litecoin's up by 3%. Lumens is up by 3.4%. Anything else crazy? I don't think anything too spectacular is taking place. Everything's like sideways up or sideways down, if that makes any sense. It should. Anything crazy? Theta is up by 5.6%. Yeah. Let's see where the rest of the week takes us. If there is going to be Fed news tomorrow, it could be quite interesting, and this could be the reason why Bitcoin has been rising in price. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and listening, and I will most certainly, why can't I move the mouse? Certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.